Hi, you guys. Back again. This is my message for, I guess it would be Wednesday the 28th, May 28th. Uh, I wanted to, I wanted to hit a little bit more on the New World Order that I've talked to you about the last couple days in different ways. Agenda 21. You really need to research those. Today's message, I'm putting some things up here that to help you understand what the New World Order is, and for those of you that are doubters that think that's all BS, got a few people on here I think you'll recognize, and very much talking about the New World Order. What you guys have to separate out, it sounds all nice and sweet. You know, this New World Order, this glorious New World Order that they're issuing in. What you have to figure out is they talk about we. Oh, it's going to be so wonderful for us and all of this. That's why you need to read Agenda 21, because that is their agenda. And you're going to find out that there is no we in this thing. We means them. And what they're planning and what they want has nothing to do with you and me. Okay? So when you hear these guys, people that you know, publicly anyway, you're going to realize that that it's coming. They want it. But what you really have to recognize is you ain't part of it. And for those of you that are awake with things like GMO, which I'm going to cover maybe tomorrow, I'm not sure yet, but some of the things that they're doing to dumb us down, to poison us and everything. But Monsanto happens to be one of these big corporations that you'll even see their name on one of these clips. Okay? And that's what I want you to pay attention to is the start out of this thing is it's going to show you where our money's going. The kind of what we call the Federal Reserve, which isn't the Federal Reserve. It's from this clip. It says it's Allumacorp. Okay? But what you need to notice there is the flow of the money. They show you a little chart and everything. And what you have to recognize is coming out of the Federal Reserve, Allumacorp, we're borrowing from them, okay? So they're giving us paper. And then everything that's coming back to them is basically all of our taxes. They even admit that. But coming back, we're paying them back, right? But here's what you have to recognize. Coming out of there is just paper. What we owe them back, the 17 trillion or whatever, that's based on gold. So when we pay them back, their money they get is based on something. Ours is based on zero. In other words, I'm just giving you paper and you're giving me the real thing back. Hope you get that. It's a lose-lose situation for us. Okay. I hope you get a lot out of this, and I hope go back and look at it again. It's really important for you. All right. Talk to you later.
Is the Federal Reserve System. It is a collection of international banks owned by Allumacorp members and financiers. It was created to form a centralized banking system through the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, an act that was indeed penned by some of our most esteemed members. Many of you might still assume that the government itself prints and issues the currency. That is not the case. When America needs money, they go to our boys and ask for it. The money is printed, but it is only representative of a loan. Interest accrues on that dollar until it is paid back to the Fed. In fact, the federal taxes paid by the American population go almost entirely to paying off this debt. So you see, Allumacorp derives a healthy amount of its operation funding directly from the debt of the public. Needless to say, this is one of our most crucial sources of funding, and one of our proudest achievements here at Illumicorp. Through mergers and acquisitions, we have slowly and silently bought up the majority of U.S. industry. Illumicorp and its members own most of the oil, transport, banking, media, food and communications industries in America and abroad. Through fewer and fewer conglomerates, we are able to effect with great precision the machinations of labor and government. Ultimately, corporations will replace government as a centralized international body that can meet the needs of the public worldwide without the chaos created by national self-interest. When Illumicorp goes public, corporatism will be the foundation for world government. Conglomerates will merge into one cohesive corporation that is responsible only to Illumicorp and the needs of its global employment force.
Federal government suspend the Constitution, suspend the Bill of Rights, and arrest whoever they wanted to. And FEMA was going to control the camps that the people were going to be put into. And FEMA would be the main governmental institution with different directors over every agency. And now when you watch FEMA on television, it's always a colonel or a general or an admiral in uniform who's over the different departments.
And I can tell you right now, well, somebody had the great idea to get rid of the Iraqi army, so when we rebuilt it, we did everything we could to make it as strong as possible. And I'll tell you right now, Homeland Security would kick their butts in a week. What's happening here is we're building a domestic military because it's unlawful or unconstitutional to use American troops on American soil. So what we're doing is we're building a military. My best friend, who's a SWAT officer in Nashua, who came to Iraq with me to train the Iraqi police, sent me an email with a picture of him in the media on the streets of Watertown, Mass, wearing the exact same combat gear that we had in Iraq, only it was a different color. And the way we do things in the military is called task organization. You take a command and then you attach units to it in order to accomplish the mission. What's happening is Homeland Security is pre-staging gear, equipment, consistent. What they're trying to do is use standardized vehicles, standardized equipment. I saw a picture in the Boston Globe during the marathon bombing where there was a state police officer, actually there were two officers, they both had identical helmets, flak jackets, weapons, everything I wore in Iraq, only it was all blue. The officer on one side had a big patch on his back that said Massachusetts State Police. Another officer next to him, his patch said Boston Police. And so what we're doing here, and let's not kid about it, we're building a domestic army and we're shrinking the military because the government is afraid of its own citizens. The last time more than 10 terrorists were in the same place at one time was September 11th, and all these vehicles in the world wouldn't have prevented it, nor would it have helped anybody. So I don't know where we're going to use this many vehicles and this many troops. Concord is just one little cog in the wheel. We're building an army over here, and I can't believe that people aren't seeing it.
The president.
The people that are behind this treaty want that world government.
Eventually controlling the market.
Eventually controlling all of us.
Sure.
Yes.
A world government.
That's the value set of John Kerry, Barack Obama, and their allies in Europe.
Show some of the pictures of the Boston police, okay? Look at this. This country is becoming a police state, and it is very troubling to me.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order, because the global order is changing.
It was forged an experience of the most bitter
and anguished kind. Out of it came a new Europe, a new world order, a new consensus as to how life should and could be lived.
Again, this Republican-Democrat thing, all the world is a stage. Obama is a puppet. He reads the script. He's a teleprompter reader. That's his official job. He doesn't make any decisions. The powers that be that have the majority of power in this world are those that control the financial system. The financial crisis engineered by these same criminals who are the ultimate fraudsters of the world. The Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, those are the real string pullers. That's real power.
The rest is classified? Guys, we already think you're shady. Is it really necessary to tell us that you have even more secrets? But thanks for the disclaimer. So what branches of the government does Serco specifically provide services to? Well, the U.S. Army, U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, the Ministry of Ontario, U.S. Navy, U.S. Air Force, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Marine Corps, Federal Retirement Thrift Investment Board, U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, U.S. Department of State, the intelligence community. Whew, let me catch my breath. I just wanted to establish the extent of their reach. But wait, there's more. Serco's so passionately committed to the U.S. that they're also working with the government to fight cyber terrorism, and they remain passionately committed to the American government's mission. Check it out.
I'd like to say we don't have to look hard to find the best and brightest. They find us.
We are passionate about the future of our nation, and we embrace our government's mission as our mission.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are.
Your mission, our passion.
We are the company that runs the world. But don't worry, they're passionate about swallowing up the world industry by industry, government by government. Since 1994, they've grown by over 1,200%, and they continue to acquire more contracts and services every day. So how does it happen that a multinational corporation can run things such as the time and the safeguarding of nuclear weapons? Well, about 85% of Serco's employees are also ex-public servants, so they have the know-how and networking to keep that revolving door going. So why don't we know more about Serco? Well, that's just the problem, is that this corporation has way too much power and way too much control. There's no doubt that we live in a corporatocracy. The corporate coup d'etat has already taken over. The question is, how are we going to fight it?
Back again. Okay, I hope you have a little better understanding of the New World Order and Agenda 21. You need to go to Agenda 21 and really understand what they have in store for us. It's not good, and hopefully this opens your eyes a little more. Some of you that are maybe non-believers figured out that I'm not blowing smoke here. Okay? But also I hope that you noticed that Monsanto was one of the corporations in that pyramid in there. Yeah, so they don't have anything good in mind for us, whether they're giving it to us now or later. Okay? And also at the end, I hope you noticed that other corporation, Serco or whatever it's called, I hope you noticed that on that newspaper article there that it showed that Obama gave that corporation $2.9 billion to run Obamacare. Now you can start figuring out, start putting some pieces together. For some of you that think Obamacare will eventually work, it's never going to work. It's not meant to work. It's exactly what some people had called it. It's put in there to steal the money from the American people. And that corporation's not going to give it up. They're not there for any other reason. They don't do health care or anything. So I hope you guys are awake, and I hope that go back and research this again, okay? All right, I love you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.